Oh my God, I just saw the new video for the Steam single coffee machine, and I can tell you, it slays. Let's check it out. G'day mate, my name's Rod and I want to talk about the new Steam single coffee machine, which, holy cow, I feel like Homer Simpson in the donut shop just going,
Really, the only word for it is...
Because that is how it makes me feel about this machine. It is so sexy. But then I look at the price and I'm more like Homer Simpson in the elevator when he meets Mindy.
Hello!
So I want to ask for your help, because the only way that I could ever afford to and not be divorced in a couple of days is to get this video to go as viral as possible. And that requires you giving a thumbs up and subscribing if you haven't already, and sharing it with the others. Otherwise, you're going to see more of me just standing at a counter talking about this amazing machine and not actually playing with the machine. The other alternative is, of course, to see a grown man cry asking my mummy for a loan. What do you prefer? So the choice is yours. Leave a comment in the section below. Anyway, but that's a small issue. Let's take a look at the good stuff about this machine. Now, some of you might have already seen the teaser trailer for the machine, and it looks very sexy. However, the video is more like a cinematic, short microfilm. I don't really understand why they produced this without actually giving any of the features. Like, they didn't even turn the machine on in the video. It's more like they let David Lynch direct it and then left it up to us to try and figure out what features might be on there. But I can take a little bit from the Steam LP and hopefully bring that information into this video to tell you some of the features that I can expect and some of the features that they have said are on this machine. And so that's why I'm doing this video, to see if this machine is for you, or whether you could just be more like me and just drool constantly at the delight of this machine. So on the surface, it does look very similar to the Steam LP. You'll notice the same aesthetic. It only comes in the one color with the black aesthetic and the polished brushed aluminium, but I'm sure they'll release other colors down the track, but you might have to wait a year or two for them to release those colors. But, you know, that's a small part. The other features are very similar to the Steam LP. You see, you've got that nice big barista dashboard. You've got the actuators for the top, for the brew head, and for the steam pump, which looks like it has both a full-on and a purge amount. So very similar to the Steam LP. However, this is the first of its kind for Slayer, because this machine is the first one that they'll have a built-in water tank. And that makes it very handy for you to be able to come in, plonk it on your kitchen bench. I mean, you're going to have a massive kitchen bench. Plonk it on your kitchen bench and get ready to go straight away, not having it plumbed in. But for those of you who do want it plumbed in, there is that option too. And it's a huge water tank. It's a 2.5 litre water tank, which means that you're going to be able to make huge amounts of brews on it before you need to refill it. But if you want to, you can also get it plumbed in and have it endless. And it's a dual boiler too, so you have 800 mils designated just for the brew head, and the rest is for your steam. So you're going to have endless amounts of pressure. If you wanted to use it in a small cafe or a cart or some sort of roastery where you want to make a pump out a few coffees, this will be perfect for that too. But it is a ginormous machine. I am serious. This is like you need to build a museum or something to have this in there, because your kitchen bench will need to at least be 600 mil deep just to fit it, because the depth is 57 centimeters wide and the height is about 36 centimeters and the width is 46 centimeters. It's a massive, like almost half a cubic meter in dimensions. So, you know, I might have to work out how to chop my onions on the drip tray, because there'll be no more room in my kitchen if I had this baby in there. But it's got all your standard features like your PID, pre-infusion, and doesn't have the needle valve like on their other machines, which is quite a unique feature for Slayer. But they've said it has a dedicated channel, a water circuit specifically for the pre-infusion. So whilst you won't be able to do a zero pressure, you might still be able to do a very low pressure. And I'm hoping with the water tank, you will be able to do a low pressure. So whilst you won't be able to do a zero flow rate, you will be able to do very similar stuff with the pre-infusion. However, you're limited to 10 seconds of pre-infusion time. They might up that down the track with a firmware update, I'm not sure. But that might be enough for most people anyway, unless you really want to do those extreme 25-second pre-infusions. Most people are going to be happy with 10, and I'm not sure if many of you are going to be able to taste the difference anyway, because we're talking about very extreme circumstances and extreme coffees that you'd be using this on. And I'm also not sure if it affects the water pressure if you have it directly plumbed in, because you'll get line pressure, it's about 3 bars. So I'm not sure if it actually can circumnavigate that and make sure that it only produces a 0 bar. Anyway, that's the sacrifice you get for having what is going to be touted as their cheapest machine ever. So I'm thinking it might sit around that 7K mark, maybe even a bit lower. I'm not sure, it might be 8K US dollars, which probably in Australia is probably going to be like 15K, but that's still pretty cheap compared to some of their other machines. The brew head actuator actually is my favorite because you can have 3 settings there. You've got your pre-infusion, you've got your full pressure, and then you have your post pressure, or it's a low bar pressure. So it might be sitting around that 3 to 6 bar pressure, which means you can dial it in as you go, and then easily with a tap in the other direction, I think you can save your profile and then reuse that, replay that same profile all day, every day. And you can save up to 2, which is great because if you have a milk-based coffee and you have a black coffee, or you have 2 different types of coffees, like a light roast and a medium light, 2 different play arounds that you can do. And I'm sure, again, with firmware updates down the track, you might be able to have multiple coffees saved in profile onto your machine, which I think is kind of becoming the norm. There's a lot of machines now like the Decent, which allow you to save multiple. San Remo U. There's so many out there now that are saying you can save all your profiles and change them on the fly and edit them. I think the Steam Single will eventually, if not straight out the gate, have that ability as well. Not a huge amount of information on the Barista dashboard. Again, I'm taking from the LP what you can see with that, but you should be able to see all your regular parameters like your brew time, your brew weight, your temperature of the brew boiler, and the pressure of the steam. Should be able to see how many seconds you have in pre-infusion, how many seconds you have in your full bar pressure, and then your low bar or your post if you're doing a ramp down. And this is something that I still have to clarify with the company, because you may not be able to use it as a post, but the LP lets you have your post pressure be lower. So I'm hoping that you can have pre-infusion, full bar, and then post pressure. But we'll have to look at that when the machine comes out. Again, you should hopefully have all of this straight out the gate. Now, one of the features I really hope they integrate with the Steam Single is the adjustable drip tray, because it's so handy to be able to move it up and down. I'm not sure if you will be able to. They do have a shot mirror now, and that might limit the actual adjustable height of the tray. You've got a shot light on there as well, which is nice. So if you want to be able to watch your extractions or film your extractions, they've taken a leaf out of the book of the Decent and they've built in that little shot mirror, which is just lovely. And I think those additions are becoming more and more normal these days. Anyway, this machine is definitely going to compete at the top level for all of those home baristas who want to get the best machine. These are handcrafted in Seattle, so they are just exquisite in terms of their craftsmanship, their reliability, and their precision. They're pieces of art, really. And not only that, but you're going to be able to taste extreme differences between that and your regular type home barista machine. So this is really exciting for Slayer in particular to be able to enter into the home market properly with a really affordable, well, when I say affordable, not everyone can afford it, but really nice home barista machine that will get everyone drooling whenever they walk into your house. Anyway, I hope you like this video. If you want to see more like that, obviously drop a comment in there of any upcoming machines that I might not know about that I'd love that you might like to see me review. Give me a like, give me a subscribe, and I'm Ride, your coffee coach, and as always, enjoy your brew.